the Dog Witch podcast, where we help you create happy, healthy, and relaxed dogs.
Hello and welcome to the latest edition of the Dog Witch podcast with me, Lisa McCabe, your host. So today I am just going to dive right in to chat to you about natural remedies for your dog. If your dog is suffering with allergies and things like that, it can often be kind of a bit of trial and error just to try and make your dog feel a wee bit better. And sometimes, you're spending lots of money, you're back and forth to the vet, and you're pulling your hair out because you're just not kind of getting to the bottom of it. So, like, if your dog struggles with things like itchy skin, recurring ear issues, excessive paw licking, allergy flare ups, like I say, you might feel like you're kind of trapped in this endless cycle of treatments that just only provide temporary relief. They're not actually, kind of getting to the root cause of the problem. You find that you move from a cream to a shampoo to a pill, medicated diet, anything, just hoping that the next kind of solution will bring sort of comfort for your dog. And, despite these best efforts, things are still happening. And as I say, you're kind of tearing your hair out. And that's because most of these conventional approaches, most like shampoos, pills, lotions and potions, all of those types of things, they kind of focus on managing the symptoms rather than, like trying to find out exactly what's going on within your dog's body. So, whilst symptom relief has its place, of course it absolutely does, what we want to do is support the body's natural ability to restore balance. So it's a bit like us, if we've got like a sore back. I'm just saying that because I actually have a sore back just now. And we take painkillers. We're not actually getting to the root cause of it. Now I am having investigations for my back to find out what the root cause of that is because I'm 43 and I refuse to take painkillers for the rest of my life. I would quite like to know what is going on with my back, so that I'm not having to take all these painkillers, which would then have an added effect on other areas of my body. So it's a bit like that when it comes to our dogs. We want to try and find out what's going on and how we can then support our dogs from the best place possible. And this is when we can look at things like herbs, supplements, lifestyle changes, like reducing the inflammation within our dog's body, supporting gut health, all things like that. So before, like adding in anything, it's important to try and understand what these allergies are for your dogs, whether it's coming from grass, trees, pollen, whether it's like house dust mites, whether it's mold spores, whether it's like actually certain foods and ingredients, whether it's cleaning products that we're using within our home, if it's environmental toxins, if it's like from fleas, anything like that. And symptoms can vary from, like dog to dog because obviously every dog is unique, every dog is individual. So it could be like things like excessive scratching, paw chewing, licking, red and inflamed skin, itchy skin, recurring ear infections, watery eyes, sneezing, hot spots, having a dull coat, and just a sense of really crap vitality. And environmental changes, obviously, they kind of worsen, given the time of year. Food sensitivities can be all year round, and they can kind of tend to come and go without there being any sort of obvious pattern, and you can kind of miss the signs if you're not switched on. And most dog owners don't realise that these allergies really exist in isolation. They're often connected to imbalances like within the gut, diet, lifestyle, environment, and just overall general well-being. So this is where, natural remedies can play a really huge role for our dogs. They work best when they're viewed as part of a bigger picture. And the goal isn't just to like simply stop the itching, it's to create, or things like itching, whatever's kind of going on with your dog, it's to create, conditions that allow your dog's body to function effectively and efficiently so that they can respond well to anything that's kind of going on. So this is why I always kind of look at, within the Happy Dog Reset, I always look at the key pillars that influence dog health and well-being. So that's like nutrition, exercise, sleep, health and well-being, and behaviour. We kind of go through all of those issues. We figure out what's going on with your dog, and we look to see which areas are misaligned, how we can tweak them and make your dog feel better. Because if one of these areas is out of balance, then the body tends to kind of start kind of going a wee bit haywire, going all over the place, and that's when, you know, all of these things can start to kind of play their part, and when allergies and things like that can really start to, you know, take effect. And that's why I love kind of going through the Happy Dog Reset with dog owners, because it's these light bulb moments. It's like, oh, I didn't realize that that plug-in that I have in my hallway could actually be affecting my dog. Oh, I use candles that are full of toxins within my house. That's what's causing my dog to sneeze. You know, so it's those kind of light bulb moments, and it's just things that, you know, we wouldn't necessarily think of, that takes someone who has studied this for a long time and knows what they're talking about to kind of point out and say, well, what about this? What about that? Or, you know, what about maybe trying different foods? You know, that kind of thing. Adding a little bit of salmon into your dog's dinner. It's just, it's not like massive like lifestyle overhaul that I'm, you know, proposing. Absolutely not within the Happy Dog Reset. Because listen, I am a dog mum. I'm also a mum of two human kids, and I have a large kid in the form of my husband. So literally, if someone came and said that I had to overhaul my life, I would be like, get lost. But the Happy Dog Reset, it literally just looks through everything that's going on, and then just gives you those practical tools to kind of move on with life, create this plan. And honestly, the changes that dog owners can get from this, and that the dogs themselves, obviously, because that's the most important thing, are just absolutely amazing. Um, so when you're kind of looking at things to help, natural kind of remedies, I would always look at things like essential oils. Um, you know, essential oils are absolutely brilliant, but obviously they have to be dog safe essential oils. So I can kind of guide you through that as well. If you have any questions about which essential oils you can use for your dogs, then I can absolutely help with that. But things like lavender and frankincense are amazing. Um, you know, for helping with the skin and for helping with allergies. Like natural cleaning products, I use a lot of lemon essential oil within my house, vinegar, stuff like that. Things that mimic like cleaning products like bleach and things like that, but are actually natural and much safer, not just for our dog's health, but also for us as well. You know, like things like stinging nettles, they can be like a natural antihistamine as well, but we don't necessarily think about that. You know, things like, as I said, omega 3, you know, like fatty acids, it will be found in like things like tuna and salmon and MCT oil, coconut oil, things like that. They can build, you know, like strength within your dogs. You know, they can help with the skin and the allergies. Turmeric is just absolutely amazing. That is like one of nature's gifts to us. You know, that can help reduce redness, it can help give healthier skin, it can help reduce inflammation within dogs' bodies, especially, you know, dogs that are maybe living with chronic illnesses like cancer and arthritis. Turmeric can be absolutely game changing for them, because it also provides antioxidant protection as well. So it's just absolutely amazing. And then you look at things like probiotics, which help with the gut. I would always say, if you can, make some homemade kefir, which is absolutely amazing. I always have kefir grains in my freezer. I can bring it out at any time, and I can make some homemade kefir, which not only boosts Zach's immune system and his gut health, but also mine as well. And I don't tell my kids, but I hide it in their yogurt too. And it's one of those versatile things where if you're doing it for the dog, you can do it for yourself. If you're doing it for yourself, you can do it for your dog. You know, it really helps with you know, a healthy gut function and reducing inflammation and skin health and things like that. So these these are all things that you can really do to help with your dog, and they're all really simple, and I have written blogs on all of these things. So if you jump onto the Dog Witch blog section, you will find a recipe on how to make homemade kefir. With regards to the turmeric, you will find a recipe on how to make homemade golden paste as well. I would absolutely say homemade is much better. You know exactly what's going in it, but it's also a lot cheaper as well, which is absolutely amazing. um so, you know, supplements, not a single supplement will definitely fix your dog, for example. So it's best to kind of look at creating a strong foundation for your dog and then building on top of that. Like dogs, for example, who eat like highly processed diet can end up living with things with like chronic stress, poor sleep, environmental triggers. So that's why, you know, allergy support alone isn't going to fix these symptoms, because if you aren't adding in things like fruit and veggies and salmon and stuff like that, if your dog is literally just eating processed food all the time, then there's something there that you do need to tweak. So some questions that, when it comes to like allergies and things like that, you should be kind of asking yourself is my dog's diet truly supporting their health? Are there any hidden stressors affecting their well-being? Like I said, candles, plugins, things like that. um any environmental factors, where you live. Is there a lot of dust? Is there a lot of pollen? Things like that. Are your dog's six pillars all kind of working together, those six pillars that I talked about earlier on? And if they're not and you are struggling, then I can definitely help you move through that through the Happy Dog Reset. It's absolutely not a problem, because we can create this natural healing plan for your dog, and it's something that we can tweak over time as well. So what I would say is, when you're looking at these natural remedies, if you aren't coming to someone like myself, I would definitely, discuss things with your vet. I would look for high quality products from reputable suppliers. Like, definitely, if your dog is on any sort of medication, I would seek what the interactions with the medication would be. So that's definitely worth a conversation with your vet, and monitor your dog's response carefully. Like if there's any vomiting or any excessive panting, anything like that, then just completely stop what you're doing altogether. But I would definitely say consult an expert, even if you want to drop me a wee email just to ask about anything. Absolutely. And if you want to find out more, this episode is available on a blog, which is on the Dog Witch website. But I will put all of the details of the Happy Dog Reset and also the blog in the show notes for this podcast episode. So I hope you've enjoyed that. It's been a quick whistle stop tour of the natural remedies for allergies with your dogs. And if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out. It's lisa@thedogwitch.co.uk. But again, all of those details will be in the show notes. Take care, and I will speak to you soon. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the latest edition of the Dog Witch podcast. Don't forget to tune in to our next episode soon.